Rustan, Fred, Vortex. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. I don't know why I always have to repeat it, but I do. All right, I'm going to run away so I can get the stream going. And you might have to refresh if you've been in World a while. I love this thing. I can just teleport away, and it's more fun. I should put another one over here, except I did kind of put another one over. Oh, oh, tiny Pegasus. I want a tiny Pegasus. Okay. Hi. Oh, a tiny screen. I forgot that I had that there. That's cool. Well, that way I know it's working. I have all these little things that help me get through life. I'm gonna drop right on her stun. 30-second delay. Boom! Heart bomb. Gotcha. Good morning. And we had the She Fight graduation this morning, 6:30 my time. So that is awesome. See so many graduates. More people coming in. Oh, where are you going tomorrow? Rusan, Disneyland, right? Ah, yeah, Rusan, I'm jealous. I love Disneyland in April. Like, I mean, I love it all the time, but like April, sometimes they do like the food festival, so that's pretty good. Oh, is screen live? Yes. Oops, there we go. Um, do a big refresh or jump away. Yay. Look at the shadows. The shadows, I mean, they're good here, but they're like really good on the screen. And look at this, guys. There's a lens flare. I don't know if you can see it on the stream very well, but there's a lens flare. I say that wasn't there before, but Foundation said it was because I was like, did we get this? And then look, if you go into settings, you can toggle it. So that's pretty cool. And I think it's also a moon flare. Oh, moon flare. That sounds like something that we should make a sci-fi film about. It might not come through very well, but yep, it's a pretty flare. I like that the devs put stuff in and never tell us. Like that's literally what I would do if I was a dev. I mean, I'd be really horribly like creative and naughty, and I'd put some crazy stuff in and never tell anybody. So it's probably better that they don't give me this kind of powers. But someday, someday. Alrighty. I'm going to get my event page, send that out. We've got a few more minutes, and I'm going to have us sit here in awkward silence. No background music. Sorry. I gotta get some YouTube copyright free background music going. Alright. Copy. Or I could just have Ruston sing. Rumor has it he can play a mean piano, but that's just rumor. Alright, I'm gonna send this out. Hello, Quan. Welcome, welcome. Aw, thank you. I've been playing with the looks of my avatar so much lately. just, creating characters, and I've decided this is like the outfit of one of my characters. But it's actually really cute, and it's a Forbes. I think it's a Forbes giveaway item, which usually the giveaway items from like corporates are mid, and then this one's like really good. So every once in a while you'll find one you're like somebody led you guys the right way. All right, this is like the teacher when the teacher's like, talk amongst yourself for a moment while I make this text post. Well, then I don't know if I should what I should have articulated these posts ahead of time, that's for sure. Join me now for Builder Basics Live. And this is definitely what you guys came here to hear me articulate my X tweet. But I can't like write it. I have to like say it out loud. So now every tweet I ever say, I'm like saying it out loud. Jump in to Decentraland, and I'm saying it with inflection. If there's an exclamation mark, I'm saying it that way. Okay, join me now for Builder. Jump into is one word. There we go. All right, that's short and not very high quality, but that's all right. And Kushi, hello, hello. I saw you at the sheep fight party. That is so awesome to see you make it. Welcome. All right, I gotta send Kushi a wearable before we get going. Like, we gotta do that. Um, remember how to get in my wallet. Just kidding, just kidding. For anybody new, I don't forget. I wish I could forget. Did everybody spend their marketplace credits this round? It was fun to well, I went shopping all month and I didn't use them. I seriously, I'm so bad. Um I did not spend them all month. And then it was like I saw Kim's message like you have 12 hours to use your marketplace credits. So I was like, "Oh, dang it. I don't have anything I need to buy." And I had saved up like 200 marketplace credits, so 200 mana. That's a lot. Um, and so I was like, well, I have this emote that I've been sitting on because I'll make them and just when I'm sitting there watching TV, or I make them and then I actually forget about them. And then I come back later, I'm like, gosh, I made this. Like, I don't even, forgot I was making this. But the emote that I released this week was the hey, like, hey, ho, naughty by nature, not that I hate you. And I won't say the other words because I don't think it's family friendly. Now that I listen to it as an adult, I think it's actually a very naughty song. Sounds like, yeah, you didn't know that. Anyway, um, I don't even have it loaded. So I published an email, which was nice, and then this is one that I was hoping that that we'd have a social emote, and so that you'd come up to next to somebody and do this with them. But they're gonna pause social emotes. They're not doing that for a while, so that is just the way it goes. So if we do get social emotes, I will turn this one into a social emote. All right. So, yes, thank you everybody for coming. Um, if you've been logged in for a while, you might need to refresh. The the newest build has like a sign down here. Naughty by nature, not because I hate you. Rustan knows this song. We're gonna be listening to that in the old folks Web3 nursing home, I think. They're gonna say, "Yep, Grandma, you were bad. You were so bad." So if you're in the newest version of this build, there'll be some instructions like right here. If you're not, don't worry about it. They're super simple. I should have deployed earlier. I just uh, didn't deploy early enough. Also, the OP badge right down here, And go ahead and grab that. Don't go here, but if you do go here, it's a quick and fun way to get back to the front. And then we'll get going. Hello, peace. Welcome. Oops, I can't fly through the elevator. Boom. All right. Let's see. I think I'll do that emo. Oh, Jay is here. I'm gonna give a little room for Jay and Fred so they can sit next to each other. And today we're gonna model a dog. And I'm excited for this one because I think there's a lot of stuff that you can do with the shape. And usually I try to do like building, like literal buildings for Decentraland. Because that's kind of the theme is, you create buildings, like different places that you can go into. I'm just going to move out with the camera. Lighthouses, right? Like, oh, look at that. You can see my window. It's not attached. Who built that? Jeez. So funny when I find stuff like that. Oh, my stairs are sticking through. Um, yeah, so funny. Okay, so yes, a lot of the stuff that I have taught are like buildings. Oops, literal. We're creating a building to go inside Decentraland. But there's a really cool, way to shape stuff that I think is important if you're like this hexagon shape we're going to go into, just to model stuff, because you might not want your building to be just a regular, 4 wall or 8 wall shape. Here we can peek behind, like this one. A lot of what we've done is just literal a building with 4 walls, 8 walls, whatever. So, boom, jump scare. Today we're going to do something different, which I think is going to help us like maybe open your mind to other things. Like what can I build? If you're going to make a wearable, you might use this process too. All right, so I think that's enough time to let people in. I'm going to jump over, get my blender started. If you have any questions, let me know. And at the end, I'll try to answer them the best I can. And here we go. All right, so let's jump one more time. Hello, hello. And Blender, always check your recent version. And you're gonna start with the this good old stuff. And I always delete it. I just hit A and then X, delete everything, and then I almost immediately add a cube back there. I don't know why. I'm just or I'll add a plane because then I'm like, wait, I need a floor. So that's kind of what I do. So I'll probably leave the floor. Maybe not. I'll delete that. So what I'm gonna do is start with an octagon shape. And that's just Shift A to bring up all of your options, and then the cylinder. Before I touch anything, I'm going to go over here, click on that, 8 sides. I had to think for a second. And the only reason I know that, thank you, UFC. It's forever to know that this is the octagon. It's so sad because I was like, wait, how many sides? And then I remembered, yep, thank you, UFC. Okay, so that's your magic shape. Like, you could make this a 10-sided shape. You could make this a 6-sided shape. The more sides you have, the more triangles you're going to have. And I'm going to keep an eye on the triangles on this as I'm building. So I'm going to go up here to overlays and statistics. And that's going to tell me 28 triangles. So it's not bad. Just as a comparison, like a cube is 12 triangles. So it's really important to build with something that you like. Think about what you're gonna make. If it's super simple and you're not worried about the size, go for it. Like sometimes it's so fun to work on a little build that you're like, I don't even care. Like I get to not care about triangles, and that's pretty fun. Other times it's a little bit more complicated. All right, I'm just kind of like getting this set up so that like if people are coming in, um, they'll be here and we won't be too far. All right, the next thing I'm gonna do to make a dog, I want to make a cyberpunk dog. Um, like I could rig it, I could make it look like it's walking. And sorry, just make sure I was over here streaming. Um, I could I could make a cyberpunk dog. I could send it to Issa, who does all the emotes, and she could like rig it for me. So there's a lot I could do with this. But to start with, I need to know like what does a dog look like? I know what a dog looks like, but even though I know in my head, it may not come out like that. So I'm gonna add a reference sheet, which is Shift A, and then go down to Image, and then Reference, and then I've got my dog pic right here. And that is just like here in the background. At the end, I'm going to delete it. I don't need it. But it's just, I actually didn't, I haven't used this method. The times I've done it before, I've, I've eyeballed it. The dog I made last night was really pathetic. So that's why I'm like, I should probably uh, use something like this. So what you want to do is just kind of put it in your background, not too far because it's gonna like mess up the perspective of your eye. Um, there we go. I'm never like very methodical and like precision, not at all. This might actually bother me to have this reference image, because it's like bright. Maybe I want it without, but I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna do something new in the class. So I'm gonna like get this pretty close, and then I'm gonna go to town. So if you're just coming to the build, or if you want to refresh, there should be a little board that says what we're focusing on. We're literally gonna do two things over and over again, and it's S to resize, and then E to extrude. And so it was awesome when I was like, we're gonna make this in 10 minutes. And Empress Trash was like, are we sure about that? I was like, well, I mean, unless I start talking about my dogs, which is so easy to do because I love dogs. What I'm gonna do is try to get this to match right there. The other creatures I've done, I started in the torso or the neck. And like with this shape, you're not locked in. You can come back and adjust it later. You're probably gonna have to adjust it later. Um, but yeah, start right there. Now that does not look like a dog. I'm gonna just there's a few things beforehand. Like with all art, it's gonna look bad before it looks good. So especially this process, as I'm doing it, I'm like, what am I doing? This is horrible. And it's like it's a moment where you have to just have faith that like, yeah, it's horrible because it's not done yet. The other thing is because we're using the extrude tool before you start, because I don't know if you can retroactively do and I didn't do this on a really cool model that I made. And now I'm like, actually, I got to chat GPT it. But I was like, dang it, dang it, dang it. Like, I didn't do it. I should have done it. So, what you want to do, go up to not options. Where is it? Oh, edit. Okay. Edit. Options. Correct face attributes. I'm going to show you what happens if we don't. And then after that, I'm going to get going. I'm going to begin. But let's just I'm going to add like, not that. I'm going to add a texture. It doesn't matter what one. It's just going to, let's do bark. Get it? Bark. Okay, so like if you've got a beautiful, let's say this was a tree, and you've got your beautiful bark, and you want to extrude that, and you do the extrusion, this is what happens. And so your entire thing is going to look weird and like doesn't matter what you do. So it's so important that you click this button, because then when you pull your pieces out, you don't get that. So I can't emphasize enough how important that is. Take the take that material off of there. Yeah, just because like I've messed it up so many times doing it that way. All right, here we go. Got our octagon. The other important thing, you're going to have to be in edit mode. And now I'm going to move kind of slow. I'm going to try not to chit chat because I think we learn better when it's not me telling you about my dogs. It's just me telling you about Blender. So I'm going to click right here. And this is the face. And again, right here, you got the corners. If you click this, you've got the edges. And if you click this, you get the face. You want to just grab the face. And now this is where having your hands on your keyboard, it's almost like learning a musical instrument. Like legit, it's probably more like learning an instrument than anything else. I'm gonna have, one finger on the E and one finger on the S. And once you get cooking, you're just like a grand master of these two. So I'm gonna hit E to pull it out a little bit, and then S to kind of bring that down. I'm gonna do this dog's nose, bring it up. Dogs, like German Shepherds especially, which is what I'm trying to make, have a real pointy snout. They're like beautiful. I like big, beautiful, pointy snouts, and I like chunky snouts like Roddy's. Um, there we go. Doesn't have to be perfect because right now I'm just going to get the blocking done. I don't know if that's a technical term, but it is now. I'm gonna just get it as close as I can, and then later you could fine tune this forever. You'll never be done. Okay, on this side, try to look right there. I'm gonna hit E. No, not E. Control Z to undo that. S. Okay, and I'm gonna bring it down because I want it to match right there. Ooh, looks like a muzzle. And then I'm gonna rotate a little bit. Dogs have depending on the breed, have a stop. This is that part of the body is called the stop. Yes, I love, love, love dogs. And gonna rotate that. I don't want to rotate too far. If you watch down here, I'm really careful that I don't over rotate like that because I'm going to get some like funkiness that it's going to give me gray hairs like craziness if I when you get that and you try to fix it, it's just like just scrap it, just burn it. It's easier to start over. It's so annoying. All right, and then at this point I'm just going to start extruding. S for size, and then I'm going to try to rotate as much as I can to keep this shape. This silhouette is, I didn't want a German Shepherd, I wanted more like a Dutch Shepherd or a Belgian Malinois. I'm such a dog geek, I'm sorry. So right down here, this would be fur, like big floofy fur that you would just love to run your hands through. So I don't necessarily want my dog, since it's going to be like a cybernetic robot dog, I don't need to compensate for that fur. I can have like wiring to run my hands through. Alright. Now this one, instead of going larger, I think I'm going to go smaller because I don't actually like the way that that looks right there. I'm going to do Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. It's okay to like change your mind as you go. I think this part is what bothers me. I think that needed to be a little smaller. Yeah, like change your mind as you go. It's so much easier. Now I don't like that. So much easier to change it now. You can still change it at the end, like all of this. Go like that. So for anybody just joining, we are pretty much just using the extrusion and the sizing key. Okay, it's so different using this reference model, guys. I don't want to, I'm like, actually, like, no, I just want to do it on my own. But I will do. All right. The neck is actually such a, I think, beautiful part of the body to model. Like, especially if you're doing birds or something like, and a lot of time the neck is where we get it wrong. Because yeah, because you really have to look at the model, like whatever you're working with, I think. I once tried to make a bunny, a sculpture, and bunnies have like a neck, but it's all hidden in the floof, and so it looked bad, and it was a needle felted bunny, and so I'd been working on it for weeks, but I knew I needed to make a change, and so I like had to cut the bunny's head off. So obviously, like I took a knife and went in front of my mom and made her think I was going crazy, um, and cut the bunny's head off, and like she thought I was having an episode. But I was like, no, I just need a bunny head change. Okay, so I'm like going down here, and this is the point where I actually I'm gonna undo that. I think this one right here, I should start tilting this way. And like a good rule of thumb is that you don't have harsh angles. It should look like a S. The neck, like if you look at the neck of a bird, it makes like a perfect S shape. The dog kind of, but just kind of keeping it in line right there. So if I suddenly have like that, a harsh angle, then that's not gonna look good. That's not gonna translate. Very good. So E, S, rotate. Then figure it out. E, S. Sometimes it's hard to do it. Like you try and it's not happening. Okay. It looks too chunky, like too big, but I'm gonna have faith. I'm gonna have faith on that one because not that looks bad. Um, like shepherds do have this huge rib cage. Um, greyhounds too. You know, they've got the big torso. So if you're going to model something, I'd say, look at pictures, see how that doesn't match up. I gotta change that. Look at pictures, look at skeletons. Like I made something recently, and it did not. Yeah, I didn't realize I'd like made a pretty big mistake. And then Issa was like, "You kind of didn't make this bone very big, so it's gonna make it harder for like an animator to rig it." So since this is a robot dog, it kind of doesn't matter, but I do like having it pretty close to this. All right, so we got our S center line going down. Looks good. Ooh, looks so good. Um, and then I think I want to start. I think I want to do like rotate there. I could be wrong, maybe I don't, but so dogs have this big old chunky stomach or like chest, and then actually a really tiny waist, and I think that that's where if you're drawing a dog, you can get into trouble there because if you don't make the tummy go up right here, it's not going to look good. And I'm used to doing like dogs, like I would make the rump go up, but shepherds actually like German shepherds, they've got those sloping hips. Um, beautiful, beautiful. Right. Now I want to make sure that I'm matching. I don't want to match the leg. I want to match still like the torso. Um, the torso. That's not quite the torso, is it? Because I'm going to add the legs in a minute. So I kind of have to, at this point, see the model without seeing the leg attached to it, if that makes sense. And then I have to kind of start closing it up because this tail, I need to have the tail up here. Okay, see that? I don't like that, like this part. So I'm going to undo that. Maybe widen it a little. No, actually, that was good. I just needed to have that brought up. Extrude. And then The rotate, like the angle, is like your best tool. Okay, so now that is the one where I'm really gonna try to bring it up to be the tail. I don't know if I should follow this tail. I think I will. I will. Um, kind of don't want to because actually no. I won't because I want to make this a cybernetic dog. And I think if I wanted it animated, I think it'll be easier if I just have the tail go out. Oops. So that was too sharp of an edge. Let's see. Let me think of what this would look like. So out, tiny bit smaller, then a little angle, out, smaller, angle, out, smaller, no angle, out, smaller. Oops, okay. I want it to be, I could just make like, oops, I could just make a tail like that. But let's say that I want this to be a emote with a dog standing next to me, wagging its tail. In order for, because I'm not at that point of rigging stuff. If I wanted to send this to Issa, and Issa's great at animating, I want to make these many different segments. The more segments I have, the more that tail can move. So I don't want this. Because you can't, like, imagine it like your body. This is a femur. You don't want that femur to break. You want to give it like natural joints. Um, so that's where I'm gonna just try to keep these real even. All right. Yeah, that looks good. I can mess with that later. I can come through if it looks too like stiff or something like that. I can come through and mess with it. All right, so let's go in here. I'm going to click on my reference image, and then over here, I'm just going to shut that eye off. So I'm going to look at my dog. He's okay. He's got little jowls here, but that I'm not 100% sure I like. But overall, he's a dog. He's a cutie. So next, the legs. I'm going to click on my object. This is a part that you might get stuck on if you're ever like, I can't do it. Just, you always got to remember, you got to click on it in object mode and then go to edit mode. Because if you start clicking on stuff here and you're like, wait, oh no, legit, you'll do this and you'll be like, what did I just do? Control Z, Control Z, and then just check. You might need to toggle through edit mode. Okay, so we want legs now. We want leggies. There's a lot of different ways you could do this. And, I'm not sure the best way. You could add another cylinder. You could totally add another cylinder to it. You could go into sculpt and try to add stuff with sculpting. You could just grab them and like just start pulling them down. So I'm going to show you a few ways to do it. You got to find the way that works the best for you. If you are going to try to make this and have it articulate, the more faces you have around it helps your animator create that. So if you, I guess we could do that maybe for the front leg. If I connect these faces, and to do that, I hit Shift as I'm going, and then I go up to Edge, and I subdivide. That's going to add more faces. But before I do that, I want to do a triangle check. It's kind of like a hydration break because you're going to need to hydrate if you go over your triangles. We're at 492 triangles for this. So let's say you were going to do an emote. A prop for an emote, you can't go over 3,000. So you're good. Like if this was going to be an emote, you're well within the means. You're going to be fine. So it's not that bad. But I want to show you what happens. So watch this right here, 492. And then I'm going to go up to Edge. And I'm going to say Subdivide. All of a sudden, we just jumped up to 524. Which is fine. It's just, it added more angles. So before you start getting crazy on the subdivision, just make sure that you can like budget that in your overall build. I think I'm gonna do the same with this guy because subdivide. Sometimes it doesn't do it. Oh, it did it, but I don't know. It did it, but it like did the corner. So I'm gonna pretend like I didn't just try to teach something to somebody because I don't know how to fix that. I will chat GPT it, but I don't know yet. Um, okay, so I'm going to trying to think of the best way to do this. For this one, I'm gonna get rid of all these guys. So I selected them and I'm gonna right click and then I'm gonna dissolve, no, not dissolve faces, delete faces. Let's get rid of them. Um, so you can see I just made a hole. And on this leg, I'll do it this way, and on the back, we'll do it a different way. So now I have a hole, in my dog's arm, or leg, sorry, dog. And I'm gonna maybe just get this to look a little bit more like the angle that it would, be. A dog doesn't, well, to my knowledge, they don't have these hard right angles. It doesn't really matter, like, oh, see, I don't want to do that. I'm messing with the mesh. Yeah, that scares me. So I'm gonna leave it like this. And this is the part where we start entering the mode that it's gonna look really bad before it looks better. So, oh, subdivide. Okay. So what I'm doing is grabbing these corners, these, what is the technical name? Edges. Edges, guys, edges. Oops, I grabbed one down there. Don't want to click that. I want to make sure I get all the edges. So see this? How this is what was happening where I was like, oh, I don't want to do that because it subdivides the edges. And so I want to make sure that I've got all of those. And now when I pull it out, I can check and I should have them all, but I feel like I missed one. Nope, I did. Okay. So I was just checking. Okay, so there you go. Now you're going to be doing the same thing as you did with the dog, but you're going to be extruding these edges. So E to pull it out. And like I said, this is where it's going to start looking really bad. And like, just have the faith. Have the faith that like this is probably what all dogs go through when they're being created. I could go through and like see how this piece goes in right there. I could pull it out, try to make it like match up better. But you know what? To be honest, I don't care. I'm gonna fix it a different way. All right, this is where anatomy comes in, guys. Like, no more fooling Blender. You either know how a dog's body works or you don't. And this is the part where, like, sadly, like being an artist or being like if you had to take anatomy in school, like this is where I think the people that understand the body, they're gonna make a creature that looks more accurate. If not, then could start looking monstrous, kind of like mine. Like right there, I got some wonkiness going on, but I think I can fix it. So I'm gonna start at this point moving my view a lot because I don't like when you only see when you only see it in 2D, you might be like, yeah, the femur looks great, and then you turn it to the side, and like to be honest, from here I can't see that looks good or not. Like you gotta keep bloop 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 like looking around, and those sound effects are free, guys. So the dog's arm goes back and then forward. I think a lot of times people, don't. Yeah, I mean, I don't. I don't. I had to like go back and look at drawings. I may have been the nerd in school sitting behind you that was always drawing dogs and unicorns and humpback whales. So that helps, that helps to have just spent my formative years drawing animals, talking to them. All right, because you can't fake this. To be honest, like if you give this to Issa to animate, you Can't fake it. She's gonna be like, mm, I can't do this. All right. So like now I can make a bigger motion. And when I've done this before, I started making like doot and then doot and then doot. And then you get this weirdness where it looks like your dog's leg is jello because it should not be bending. There is a bone in there. It should not be bending. So look at where you think the bone is going to be. And then that shape should not, in my opinion, should not be subdivided again until you have another joint. And that's down here in the ankle. And the ankle actually has a ton of movement in a dog. So I'm gonna, it actually goes in, in and then out. I'm gonna make it bigger. I'm not gonna put a ton of detail in the feet because these are gonna be monster feet for a little bit. Um, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with like monster feet, like not looking good, because at the end I can play around with them. Um, all right. So like if you have a pit bull, a pitty, they're gonna be like that. You know what the chunky chest is. This leg might have come out a little bit too far there, so I could move it back. And then right here for an animator, oops, I think an animator would have issues with that. So might have to go back and mess with that. I'm not 100% happy with it, but like I gotta tell myself this is the part where I'm not happy with the way it looks, and that's okay. So this one we made hollow. If I can get my camera in here, you can kind of see, like on the inside, you can see it's hollow. The next one we're gonna do differently because I said there's different ways to do it. So this chonky back leg, I know I use that word too much, but I just go into baby mode when when I'm talking about dogs and cats. Don't get me started on cats. I am team dog, but I kind of have one of those cats that's making me think that there's room for both. He's a bobtail. He's got a little floof bobtail. He doesn't have a tail, and he's just so cute, and he rides on my shoulders. Okay, I'm not gonna get distracted, guys. So here we go. On the back leg, we're gonna do it different. We're gonna select these. Again, you're gonna shift and hold. And I'm not going to subdivide these this time. I'm just going to leave them as they are. And I'm going to hit E for extrude. So we did the same thing. We just pulled these guys out. We didn't make it hollow. It didn't necessarily hollow it out. No, I did hollow it out from the inside. I don't know if there's a benefit or like pro or con to either way. So kind of depends on you. Now legs, big old dog legs. I think again, where people get wrong is they just make them go down. Look at how far this leg will, I wish I had a pointing stick. Look at how far back it goes. And then this, and I don't know if it's the radius ulna, the femur, hippocampus. No, I can't remember, but this is a femur, I think. This right here is not big at all. And so I think a lot of times, especially shepherds, they got these, they got just a kind of a different body. We've got to get this, reselect all this, all the way back there. So this is where I kind of love like modeling the back leg. Oops, I made it go in. Okay. I might need to grab, see, like, might grab those two. All right, E. Oop, nope, I'm gonna undo that because look at, it looks weird if I don't grab that one. E. Bring it in. See that weirdness? I'm gonna leave it. I can fix that later. I might try to rotate this. Sometimes it's better to like fix these kind of things before you build too much, but then sometimes it's like, whatever. I'm gonna add like surface modifiers to this so you won't even notice it. So no use being upset by it. And I'm kind of like back in this view mode more. That That's good. All right. Missing this chunkiness. Oh, God, I can't stop saying that word. And that right there. Yeah, see what happens. There are things you can do to make sure you're only extruding on like an axis, but I don't mind this. I did a lot of sculpting and painting in my non-DCL life, so like I kind of like having the control of it rather than just forcing it to go a certain way. Oh, but I don't like that, to be honest. It's what I'm struggling with. What I think I'm struggling with is trying to use the reference model, but in my head, I'm like seeing it different. So, ooh, you know what? I'm gonna do that. Extrude. So I grew up with sled dogs. We had a team of about 11 sled dogs, and we were friends with the world champion, uh, he won a race, not like the Iditarod, but similar. He was a world champion, and so like his dogs that couldn't make it, that weren't going to be competitive, they would come to our house, and we and they were like, well, they were my pets. I don't know, they were maybe workers to other people, but to me, they were my babies. So dogs have always had a real special place in my life. Oh, I don't like that. No, it's not working for me. So this is what I said. You could do it in 10 minutes unless you're not happy with it. Then you're gonna have to do something different. All right. That back. So I taught my our lead dog Doris. I taught her how to sit. And sled dogs, like not huskies that we see in the news. Like these are Alaskan huskies. Like they were Iditarod. Like some of them came from lines that were in the Iditarod. It's a different breed. They do not like listening. So it took me about 6 months, and I could teach her to sit on command. Um, so then I think my family felt bad for me, and they got me I thought the most exotic breed in the world was a black Labrador. So they got me a black lab, and because I was surrounded by gorgeous huskies, so I was like, huskies are so boring. I want a black lab. So they got me a black lab. All right. I'm not a No, it's too small. Look at that. I think that might be what it is. Is like it doesn't look like it could carry the weight it needs to. And I think it's because it got smaller, right? Going backwards right here. I think it got too small right there. So I'm gonna make that larger and then that smaller. And then put that guy down. Yep, and see, keep moving it up. That's okay. I can fix that at the end. Sometimes I like fixing it as I go along. And again, the big foot, it's okay. But that is actually kind of weird. Sometimes if you leave something, it's so much easier just to fix it as it happens. And then sometimes little things you can fix it with no problem. Like what I would do to fix this, because unless he's got like a leg issue, I want that to be in further. So I would click on these little pieces to make it all selectable. But if I just select here, it's only going to get the stuff that I can see. So then if I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this, that's going to ruin it. So you've got to go up here to the x-ray. Then when I grab it, and I don't want to grab the stuff up here, so I can do my viewpoint like this. Then I can just move the parts that I want. Okay, so there you go. What I should have probably done is had a mirrored effect as I went, but that's okay. Um, trying to think. Let's see. I haven't tried this yet, but you can mirror it, and I haven't mirrored it after the fact, so maybe I'll just hold off on that for 1 second. Okay, ears. I'm going to No, I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna do the same thing though with the head. I'm gonna choose which parts of this that I make go into the ears. I could just like grab that guy and go up, and grab that guy and go, same thing. My mouse is all over. But I think it's best to subdivide these and then maybe subdivide, I don't know, maybe subdivide these guys. If I look at my overall triangles, I'm at 966. So I'm great. Like I've got the other side of the legs, but I don't need to worry about that right now. So what I should have done with the legs is to get these like symmetrical. And I actually don't need to do it with the ears. But I'll do it anyway. Uh, oops. All right. So if I click on these guys and do control uh wait, N, shift N. I just started doing it recently. So maybe I don't know why it's not doing it. Um, I will research that. But like to get this basically, oh, why does that look weird? I must have messed it up when I'm clicking. I'm gonna undo it because I did something there. Okay. Sometimes you do that and you're like, what did I do? What did I touch? Um, okay, I thought it was Control N, but I guess now maybe I gotta be in like a different mode. But nevertheless, I'm gonna grab these. I really want these guys subdivided because you can't have like there's got to be a forehead in between these. So that's my concern right now. It's like I'm making an ear that I want to have some forehead space between this. So, clicking both of those and then E for extrude. And then I think at this point, our beautiful picture, let's go back into edit mode, click on that, hide it. Also just gonna hide this and see how it's kind of hard to see. I like that toggle better. Okay, edit mode. Dude, actually, this is gonna be a cyberpunk dog. This looks like a cool crop for like a cyberpunk dog. Um, but I think I'll wait. I'll keep going. Um, so I got all of those selected. I don't want to do it like left ear then right ear because if I do all these at the same time, it's going to be symmetrical. And so like since these guys are supposed to be symmetrical, I want to leave it like that. Ooh, that's pretty badass. Sorry. I'll say cool because this is family friendly, but you know what I mean. So now I'm gonna tuck those back. All right, and then probably one more extrusion to get the tip of the ear. Oh, look at that. Actually, let's see, like Doberman. Oh yeah, Doberman. Since this is like a dog that's not real, like a robot dog, you could do some cool things and make it whatever you want. But I think I'm just like this. Now I don't know how much I should make it look like a normal dog, but I want to pull these inward because that's how a normal dog would look. But before I do that, if I start pulling on this square, I could have some like unintended consequences later. So I think the first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to add a subdivision to these guys. And it subdivided these corners. It just, I don't know, like it probably will help later. Just to have a few more facets right there. And so like something like this where I'm gonna make it go in further. I went that way a little bit. Now I'm gonna grab these other guys over here and continue to go so that they're also going in. And then I can grab these guys, bring them out. That's cool. I think I need to do the same. Yes. And now you're in the fun mode where you're like you could have you can just kill hours doing this. Like very small details that nobody will notice, but they're insanely fun. You're never like oh somebody I heard an animator say once like an animator is never done. They just have their work taken away from them. And it's kind of the same thing. Like you're never done. You're just eventually like you got to eat or drink water or something because you could just sit here and work and work and work and get these little tweakies done. Okay, so I'm gonna leave the ears like that. Um, to get the other side of the dog, there's a few ways to do it. The quick, I don't like I should have been doing it with like the mirror. Um, but anyway, I'm gonna do it a different way. This is like a cheat way that I don't think is the best way to do it, but it's just super easy. I'm gonna Shift D to duplicate, and then I'm going to right click, mirror, I believe Z, and then I'm going to rotate it so it like matches up. So -180. Oh, and then I'm going to Shift A, get a giant old cube. I'm just going to cut the body off, and I'm going to leave the legs. Like I said, this is probably not the best way to do it, but just to get a dog. Without redoing those legs all over again. They're going to be identical. So, right about there, click my legs, click the wrench, add modifier, generate, Boolean, eyedropper, square, arrow, apply. Ah, why didn't it work? What? All right, hold on. What did I do wrong? Why? No, 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 no. All right, did I have something else? I'm gonna get rid of that. Sometimes I do it out of order and it's just like, what the heck? The other thing, solver options, this guy. Why isn't it doing it? Okay. So what happened there? In the past has driven me to insanity, but you guys don't have to do that because we know how to fix that. If you have a model that is high geometry. Like this is like left, right, up, down, all sorts of crazy stuff happening. Usually it's like if you have a lot of polygons. That cutting tool, they're like, what are you doing? Like we don't know what you want us to do. It's literally begging you to help. And so all you have to do is hit this, self-intersect. So if you ever have a Boolean like the cutting tool not work for you, that's probably it. It's just sitting there basically like, what do you want me to do? And you're like, just this. It says like, honey, just do it. I believe in you. And then go through, the other steps. So I used to just quit when that happened. I just would stop working because I didn't know how to do it. crazy to think, but ChatGPT wasn't really like out and a thing yet. And so, or at least not for me. Maybe it was out, but I was like, I don't know what to do. Oh, and I chopped off too much of it. I should have left more hit. That's all right. Let's see. Just undo it. Here we go. There. Generate Boolean. Oh, no, no, no. Remember, always click what you want cut. Eyedropper, square, here, apply. I go fast on that because it's so natural and so many steps. And so I try to slow it down because otherwise you guys aren't gonna learn anything if I go fast. All right, there we go. We got our dog. He's pretty cool looking. Like he could come out and get us. Now, what I'm gonna do right here with this piece, I'm gonna click all of it and I'm gonna right click and I'm gonna join it. So now you don't have two pieces, you have one piece. That is probably not the best way to do this, but I don't know, like it works, it's quick. So if you're just like, you might need that in a build, you might need something. Whoa, look at his nether regions. That is crazy. I did not model that. He's got, I don't know what's going on, but I can't be like walking around with a dog that looks like that. He's got some issues, guys. Okay, so I'm just gonna, that will look so much more natural. There we go. All right, close enough. So now I want to show you, like, we did this. It's a dog. It looks kind of like, you know, like a dog. Um, See how the point of origin, if I try to turn him, he's gonna like turn right there because we started with the octagon right there, but I want him to turn right here. So I'm gonna make sure I have him selected, right click, set origin, center of mass, and then now when I turn him, he's more like, I don't know, if I was playing toys, I'd be like, you know, like ruff ruff, not from his nose. Um, yeah, I think that's better. Okay, so let's see how he looks. First thing we're gonna do is just go right over here to object and then shade smooth and got a little wonkiness there. But that is why I did not sweat all the little things. Because to be honest, nobody can see if I have some weird, little imperfections. Like I can see them. Like right there. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, who cares? It's good. Now his little paw in the back needs to look way better. So I'm gonna do the X-ray tool and grab all that. And actually, I'm gonna be smart and do both at the same time. And then yeah, still too small. His legs, like their little legs are actually way smaller than you like. I don't know. To me, I would just draw them big, but these are pretty frail back here. But this is still too small. So I'm just gonna like tweak this and then get on to the next thing. But I do want to kind of make sure it's pretty good at this part. All right. And then because I extruded it and made it like larger, it also pushed the legs out from the body. So now I have to manually move them back. These, that's this is where it just gets like tedious. And this is where again I can just lose myself if I'm not careful. You could come back in a day and I'm still here trying to get something done that doesn't even need to get done. Like, so I guess make sure as you're going because your greatest weapon and your greatest adversary is time. Like, You do not have time to sit here and make sure that this like little back torso is good enough. I do want them to look good, but man, I think the difference between, and I'm not a professional modeler or anything, but I think that the difference between the ones that are really good at it and fast, and the ones that aren't, is like you just have to produce results. I'm gonna make those smaller ones smaller. So making sure you don't waste your time on something you don't need to waste your time on. So the feet look bad. There's a lot of ways I could mess with the feet, but since this is a cyber dog, I don't know. I don't know what cyber dog feet look like. To be honest, I don't know. Maybe they're wheels. Like maybe on these little wheels or these little doggy feet, they're not running around on paws, but like maybe they have a wheel down there. Um, maybe they come to like a point. Maybe they have like claws because that would be pretty scary and cool. Like big old claws. I think if I'm gonna make like a mythical dog that I get to make the rules on, I'm not gonna worry about that detail yet because aesthetically I don't have that part like planned out. What I want to do is get the wiring underneath this dog. Like this dog is running on some kind of wiring. I know. um okay. So like I'm sure you guys have all seen the movies and stuff like Axel and I think it's Axel about cyber dogs, stuff like that. Um that's kind of the look I'm going for. So I'm going to jump back. Oh, I'm not in Decentraland. That's a bummer. Okay. I'm going to jump into Decentraland quick. I didn't realize that I somehow must have like closed out of it. So, water break, I guess. I'm coming back and then we're going to get onto the texturing. But I want to make sure that I'm there for questions. I did not realize that I'd gotten out of there, so I apologize. Hopefully it's still running. I don't know. If it's not, you guys will have to tell me. That's why it's so much easier to do events with other, like multiple people. It's considerably harder when you're doing it by yourself. So I appreciate if anybody, if it wasn't working, if you like hit me up and you're like, hey, but I think it was probably working. We'll see. See, if I come in and new phone who dis is here, never mind the fact that he's hiding. It's probably okay. Oh, is it backwards? Why is it backwards? My screen isn't backwards, is it? Oh gosh. Okay, does anybody else get this? I don't know if it's just me, but see how bad the graphics are? I load in and every single time I have to go to high. I don't know what it is. Oh, what's the dog's favorite treat? Ooh, gosh. I mean, the hearts of its dead enemies, but like probably not that would be too much, but maybe like a chip, like batteries probably. Yeah, I would say batteries. So sorry guys, I did not realize I jumped out of world. But now you can see, I'm not sure if you guys are seeing this. But these, I don't know, I thought it might be helpful if you're going to try to follow along or you just want to know like 90% of what we're doing is E and S. Like that's all. If you can E and S your way through Blender, you can do so much. Um, let's do coffee drinking. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know why the screen is backward. I think, you know what? I think Sin probably could tell me. Was it backwards yesterday? Hi, Bali. Because what happens is like when Sinful and I were trying to share the scene, I bet so I have to move this screen from here up to his place up above, and I bet I forgot to rotate it. So it's okay. It all works. Um, just good to know. Yeah. Okay. So let me know if you have questions. The dog's favorite tree, I think electricity or battery power. Probably batteries of drones it takes out. Yes, yes. He looks like a scary doggo, not like a Loki doggo. I know. That's true. Loki. Um, my last dog was a purebred. His mom was a purebred white German Shepherd. His dad was a purebred Rottweiler, and he bit many people, more people than I want to tell you that he bit. But I would not put him down. I like spent so much money on training, shock collars, like nothing. I mean, couldn't do the shock collars. Like I literally just changed my life to keep him alive, and he lived 10 years. I thought he was not going to live that long, but it was constantly being afraid of what he was going to do to the world because he was aggressive. He had a mission. I was not part of the mission. He decided his mission. Um, I thought that growing up with sled dogs, having like a lot of experience with dogs, was enough. But I'll tell you what, you guys, Rottweilers and German Shepherds. I think the Rottie part of him was like he came. He had his own prime directive. Um, so after that, I got a golden retriever because I hold on. Okay, he's not in the same room as me. I don't like golden retrievers, but don't tell Loki that because he's a sweet boy and I love him. He's a white golden retriever, so I have white hair everywhere. Um, yeah. Okay, this dog looks too long, doesn't he? Like it's. I would say probably a good idea to leave your project. I am going to keep going on this. Leave your project and come back to it because then the first thing you're going to notice is like, what the? Who made this? AI slop. Like I didn't do that. Um, Yeah, but so you can change things. The tail might be too long. So you just go into edit mode and make sure you're in this, see-through x-ray section. You can just move this wherever you want. And so like all of this that I've taught, you do not have to make a dog with this. Like please, you guys, this is not about the dog. This is about knowing how to extrude and size because you can use this for trees. You can use this in for your build. I know some of you guys have applied for grants. Like I can think of 1,000 ways that this could be used for different applications. You could make a hamburger, using this. You could make all sorts of stuff. So I think it's just such a valuable tool to know how to move stuff using the extruder. So yeah, definitely get in, practice, go from there. Okay, but we're making a cyberpunk dog. So the first thing I'm going to do is Shift D because I could sit here and just tweak this forever. Um, I want to move that, and I want to have that so that if I mess anything up, I just have it right there. Also, what I'm thinking this dog is going to be is like there's going to be armored parts, and then there's going to be places underneath where the wiring is exposed. So I think what I'm going to do is make like a nice cutting tool. And I'm trying to think of the best way to make a nice cutting tool. Um, and I think I just have to kind of make it as I go, like make it unique to each section. Let's go see through, edit, this. So I'm going to try to make this cutting tool kind of match the shape of the jaw. This. I'm gonna make it really long so I know it gets through all of our little guy. Sorry, dude. It's getting dark. This is why Loki's not in the room with me. Seriously. He's very possessive. Like if the cats try to talk to me, he is not happy. He's not having it. And of course the cats want to talk to me, but they kind of only talk to me when they're hungry. Um okay. So my cutting tool, it looks kind of weird, but what I want to do is basically like chop it there and then chop it there. And sound effects do make your build go better. Like you really just don't be afraid of the sound effects. All right, so right there, extrude, small. So like when I'm doing this, it's making it narrower, and I'm just that's why I made it longer. Some of these tools are like super weird looking, just because they like they're super long. But oh, it's the color, but that works. All right, so now on this side, I'm gonna bring these guys down. I could extrude, or I could just do this. I could just do that a little bit. So maybe right there, and then on this one, I want to make it like kind of go over that way. So might be easiest to go like that. Okay. I'm thinking like I don't know, like the Tesla bot. All right. Now I'm going to Shift D, and so I have two dogs right here. I have my other one, but I'm gonna have one. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna hold down. Oh, I don't want to do that. It's gonna make it weird. I was gonna make it smaller, but nope, I won't do that. Um, Maybe just for the sake of teaching, I'll just move it here because it might just be easier to so that we see like a clear cut. All right, so I'm gonna make sure I'm clicking on this guy. I'm gonna cut now, and so this is the part. If you're newer to the class, this is a bunch of steps, but you do it so much it just becomes fast. But I'll still go slow. So add modifier, generate, boolean, eyedropper tool, cutting tool. And that did the cut. So that's where you want to see it. If you saw that, you're good. Arrow, apply. And now you can just move that. And I cut my dog. um, let's see. So maybe what I should do is show why I'm doing this. Because my little dog has like little wires underneath him. And I'm going to add a texture to this. And I'm not sure it's going to look good. So there's a good chance that this is going to look really bad. Okay. I have a really weird, yeah, there we go. Okay, so really, really bad wiring. And did I do options? Did I showed you guys the options. I hope I did it through this whole thing. Um, so see how when I made my dog smaller, it made it proportionally all of it smaller, which means now his little head goes too far and I don't want it like that. So I'm just going to grab his little head and I don't know if I'm going to use that again. If I wasn't going to use that, I would just make it like, zip, not my problem anymore. But I think I'm going to use it, so I don't want to. I don't want to do that. Um, it's kind of nice. It's kind of nice. It's like, if only real life problems are so easy to hide. All right. So this part's sticking through, but that's okay. I'm not going to worry about that because I'm going to come in here probably later and mess with this even more. I will. I get bothered by ridiculous things and I can't move on until they're fixed. So, like that. All right, perfect. So, this is going to be basically like white armor. And underneath it, you're going to see this cybernetic wires and stuff. I'm going to add more to that later. But now let's make another like shoulder pad basically. He should have a battery pack too, don't you think? That big. All right. See, it's harder to see that, and I realize, okay, I'm on this mode, and then if it's ever weird like that, it's because I'm on X-ray. I should put a real heart in him, and nobody will know it's there but us. But then, like, if anybody ever X-rays him, nobody's gonna X-ray him. Yes. But it would be funny just to know that it's there. I'm going to Make that part smaller. And I really want this to cut right in here, but not touch the legs. If I can. Oh, that. Okay, there. There. I did say there. Okay. And I feel like I don't want this straight. I want it nice and like curved. I think that that will look better. Okay. And to get that, like, to get the feeling of the coolness, I'm gonna do that. But oh, I forgot. This side is done, but I didn't do this side. So how does that go? I probably would want it to like roll down here, follow the haunches. The haunch? Haunch? Is that a haunch? The ham hocks? The ham hock. My mom called them ham hocks. So, oh, that worked really well. That's, oh, so easy. We're making this look too easy. All right. Oh, he's got wings almost. He could be like a flying guy. All right, so to cut, we're going to cut the thing we want, or we're going to select the thing we want. Again, wrench, add modifier, generate, boolean, eyedropper, cutting tool. Oh, I didn't see something cut. See that? It did not cut. So we know it's saying no. What do you want me to do? So try that again. And I like to just close that out, just totally redo it. So got that, add modifier, generate, boolean, self-intersect, eyedropper, cutting thingy, did it, good. Okay, we're good. So that was what it was. So it would seem like every time we try to mess with this body, that's when it's like, no, we don't like, I don't know what you want from me. So we're I'm not gonna call this a Tesla dog, because this is not, this is my dog. But it's kind of looking like that. So what about the tail? How does he this is awkward. How do you do the butt? Um oh, you know what would be cool is if this kind of wasn't attached. So I'm gonna duplicate my cutting tool because I want to use it, but I think I might need that bigger size. It's just easier to do it like this. So what I'm thinking is that I can come up here like this. So I also want like like I don't know, not a gun because that'd be bad, but like a I don't know, a shooting tool or something. Shoot kindness maybe. How's that? And to see this, because I can't see it in here, go into X-ray and then extrude, make it bigger, extrude, make it bigger. And then I'm gonna see, did that do it? Pretty much. Not symmetrical though. Sometimes you do stuff and you're like, what am I thinking? I'm not even close. And for this it kind of doesn't have to be like I think it's good to find out what parts can you afford to hide and what parts can you not. Like you've got to commit to like a good model. And like I said, if you're gonna make an emote, like the pudgy penguin, if you're gonna make something and then take it to Issa and expect her to be able to animate it, you do have to do it right because like there's certain things she can do and certain things that she'll like you'll need to go back and like help her fix it. Um, and Issa doesn't do the modeling. You do have to do the modeling, which is good because like then you know what you want. All right. So ignore that side. That side we can fix that a different time. That doesn't look good. Actually, that's the two dogs I'm seeing together. So that. All right, here we go. Should I do the tail? I don't know. I won't. I won't. Yeah, I will do the tail because the tail. No, I won't. The tail would be so cool to have like different articulate. Oh yeah, like cool articulation stuff. I am gonna wipe this tail out, definitely. But I'm gonna make it large. So lit I know this is weird that this is like what the stencil tool looks like, but what I'm watching for right here is how does this angle go? I want it to be like a real clean angle. Um, and like I used to want to 3D print a dog for my classroom that would be created with magnetic 3D filament so that it could tell if a human, like if some, yeah, if electricity touched it, so that then you could program responses so that it would be a therapy dog, but without being like a therapy dog, like a dog with hair. And so I drew a lot of like animatronic dogs back in those days. All right, so we got some armor. I think we've got to do, oh, we got to figure out what the bite would look like. And let's put some eyes in because we're at 10:18 and I want to respect everybody's time. Um, let's see what kind of, so we could do a cylinder, an icosphere, a UV sphere. I think I'm going to do a cylinder. I'm going to make this like 14. And then yeah, okay. I won't. Sometimes I start talking and I'm still doing something else, and I know that's hard to follow along. So this wiring image, I'm gonna fix all that. It's not. It doesn't look like it should on there, but it's got like if you want to see what it looks like, I'm gonna add the texture to this cylinder material, and then since I already added it, all I have to do is go into here and do that. Um, but now I have to fix it, get it to the right spot. So I'm gonna go edit mode. I'm just gonna hit the top, and then this is what it looks like. So I just did like AI, cybernetics. All I want from this are these wires. But it brought me like just the way that it's programmed, it made some crazy, crazy eyes, which I'm like, I don't want a human skull for this. However, okay, for a dog, a cybernetic dog eyes, I was like, okay, yep, we could use these for dog like dog eyes. So, oh, and here's something weird. You always have to go click when you get into the texture. Because I want to see my dog's eye. And I'm making it big and I'm like editing it big so I can see the changes before I add it. Because if I'm making this small, it's going to be pretty hard to see the details. And this might not look good. It might actually like this might be one of those things you think it's gonna look good and then it's actually like, nope. I don't know. There we go. The dog's eye should be, I think, right around there. I don't have to mess with all the other stuff in it. I should and I will, but not till I like want to make sure it works first. So many times I'll do all the detail work and then I'll get to like then I'll actually try it be like, "Oh, well, it doesn't even work." So I just wasted all that time. So a lot of times it's better just to, as I always say, test early, test often. Um, okay. I kind of want there to be a space for this. So what I could do, I did mention sculpting earlier. You could go into sculpting, um, and like try to bring up, see that if you can see it kind of carefully up above. You can like I've just recently started messing around with sculpting. Um look what I just did. Ooh, get rid of that. Okay. I think I needed to subdivide it way more. Um let's see. And so like the flatten. I think the flatten is what I need. Here we go. So it's kind of pushing it in. I don't know if it's going to be enough. I don't know. So let's see. A dog's eyes, I think. This is a cyber dog, so you know what? His eyes can be like, he could be like a cyclopa dog. And maybe the cylinder isn't the right shape. Maybe it should be like circular. I think for now, though, I'm just kind of getting it on there so that I can see. Sometimes I like to put placeholders just to see if like the whole vibe is working, because then you might be like, wow, I just wasted 2 hours of my life. That doesn't look good at all. Or you might be totally happy with how it looks. I am going to make the side of this black, um, just to make it look better. So I could sit here and I could click each one of these. But I think if I just hit A and then I unclicked. Whoa, did I really say unclicked? I love how many new words. If I unclicked those, if I unclick them, if I just go smaller, if you watch, this is gonna get to that point. We could do black, we could do, I don't know, maybe I'll just do silver. Ah, I don't know. What do you think? Black? Yeah, black for now. I think you know, have to do a lot more work on this guy. But I think I'm probably gonna wrap it up for time for today. Um, the other thing is like finding this neck and then making sure that like you've got the right pattern for the right place. So like that's an ugly map. That's not a good. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Crazy. But I'm just going to play with it for a second and see if any of it has a remote possibility of looking acceptable. Actually, doesn't that look cool? That looks kind of cool. I think for right now, that, it does say I'm a cyberpunk dog. But what I was thinking more is like now on top of that, now we take a cylinder and we make this look good. Let's see. Do that real quick. Um, let's find a good part of a cylinder, like a wire, good wire. Let's see. I think over here. Probably this part. Maybe it wouldn't even, it might not. But I'm going to try. I'm going to see if this can be a pattern that I can use on there. What I think is it just might be too small. Okay, so let's see. What about up here? Oh yeah, look at that. That's kind of cool. Wires. Nope. Okay, so if you're just like, nah, I'm not seeing it, just um, get rid of the material. I'm gonna make my own material, just gray. I'm going to make this a shiny tube, so I'm gonna be like 1, 0 for roughness. Actually, probably 2. And then the magic over here, shade smooth. And now I've got my own tube, which sometimes you can do like really cool stuff in the materials. Sometimes it's just better to like actually try to replicate the material yourself. So if this is the dog's, oh gosh, do. Okay, I'm thinking of how I'm making this. So like, sorry, sometimes if I'm quiet, it's like I can teach the class, but I kind of have to go on at the same time and be like, what's the best way to do this? And for me, I think I'm going to duplicate it, get a little smaller, like that. And now I'm going to get rid of that color and I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to leave it like white. 0. Okay, because these are like, metallic parts. I'm just not sure I can extrude this guy very well. And this is a wire coming out the side of the dog, right? And what I could do is have all of these wires and like the material is there. It's like hiding it. It's underneath, but eventually all you would see are like these wires. And now the texturing, it's all getting a little distracting, so I'm going to do that. Sometimes I just gotta like shut it all, shut it all out. Okay, so same thing as we did before. I'm going to E to extrude. I'm going to move that. E, because I want this to look like it's a wire that's running the length of the dog, connecting, the circuit board is probably like, I don't know, in the brain, but the battery might be down in the body. So this is like the wiring that's going to connect. Okay, and then we have like, I don't know what these are. I usually have a story behind something, like even if it's a mundane little thing. This is a support bracket. Oops. And if you don't have this, what they found is these dogs, as they're tearing drones out of the air, they lose function. So you gotta have this. I don't know. But it's gotta kind of make sense, or there's no reason to have it. You can tell sometimes when it's something that's just aesthetic, and like that is okay just to have aesthetic stuff, but like it should make sense. I think in good world building, like especially, I don't know, sometimes like look at Disney movies, they'll have details in there that I'm like, nobody's gonna notice that except for super fans, but it's there, and it's like that's amazing. It's good storytelling. All right, one more. One thing this is gonna run is like this cord right here probably has more triangles than this entire dog. Right? But there we go. You look, and that is also gonna give it like some insane reflection. If you put it in world, this is gonna look crazy good. If you put it in an emote, it won't. Sorry, sorry to burst our bubble. It does not show in an emote like it does in the world. Um, I could also like do this. Let's just do that. If I want to just make these like eye sockets really cool, and remember shade smooth right there, that's the magic, shade smooth. If you don't do shade smooth, it still looks cool, but it won't have that like knock your socks off like blinding. Like if you came into my build right now that I'm building, you'd be like, wow, somebody discovered the metallic tool. So I put it everywhere. But okay, now we can just take this and let's see how many triangles. Oh, 508. Okay, that's not that bad. Something else is giving us a crazy amount of triangles. Mirror X. Nope. Mirror. There. Okay, so now you got that on both sides. We could duplicate it. This is where, like, um, I gotta see, is Empress Trash still here? Yes, okay, so Empress Trash, if you're going to build insane amount of assets fast, duplicate, duplicate, duplicate. That is where it's gonna come in, and then like, um, building things that will be efficient for you. Like right now, I am building so much stuff, and it's And I'm like, there's got to be an easier way to do it. So like every time I put a sign in a world, I have to make the square. I have to put the texture on, but then I have to rotate the square to make sure the texture's on. So what I did is literally just made one called default sign. And I know if I go, oops, I didn't save this for a long time. Actually, I haven't saved it for a long time. So I know I can go in there and grab that sign every time I need one. I'm going to save this and show you. Let's see, build it forward, cyber dog. Let's hope that saves. Okay. So, um, default square. This is literally my default square that I'm gonna go in and then anytime if and this is like a ramen menu for like a world I'm working on. But like if you wanted to like for today and I need to make the sign and be like, all right, you guys, today's focus, it's there. All I have to do now is like a few steps here and it's so much easier. But do make a shape and then start repeating that shape. Don't build it all from scratch because that it's a huge time suck. So even if it's like um I don't know like this could be changed into so many different things. So you could have one file that's just all of your shapes. You store them there. Or let's say you get a cutting tool like this, is very specific cutting tool. I don't know if you'd ever be like, "Wow, I'm sure glad I made that one because it just came in handy." They're easy enough that you can just make. But sometimes there might be like, "Yeah, I have a cutting tool to make an S curve, and I need to save that." Like, um, I think for me, like that's where I'm at is I have to work faster than I'm like and make it like work fun. I don't want it to be like God, this is horrible. Now this is like a job. Just being like really efficient with your time because like this. Let's see. Um, all right, let's see if we can do something with this. If you wanted, you could have a shape like this that is like that, and you made it because it's a dog, like the dog's oh, sorry, I'm like blanking on words. You made it because it's part of the dog, but now you want a palm tree, right? Like instead of going through all of that, you could just take that shape and then go to your nope. Oh my gosh, did I just snort? Okay, I gotta take that texture off. Go to your textures, go to this, go to image, open that, and like within a few seconds, you went from a dog to like tree bark. So look at your items in more than just like I don't know, like what they are. They're more than that. They're way more than that. Like I love doing that. I did that like I used to do that with miniatures in my classroom a lot. And we would take recycled stuff and reuse it. And so that like on a big scale, we would have this huge production and like the preschool would come, my high schoolers would make it. We called it Tiny Town and it was amazing. So this week my daughter needed help with a diorama and so I was like, "Oh my god, yes. Like I have arrived, child." And I had to like not take over the project. But there were these K cups, like that you make coffee in. I was like, "Oh, if you flip these upside down, they look like stools." So I think like if you can take that kind of mindset where you're looking at things, you're looking at these, trying to think, what does that look like? Like if you wanted this little guy to be a hamburger, right? Bet we could get a hamburger in a few, maybe, maybe a few motions. Maybe the hamburger is harder, but like brown is also super, in my mind, a super hard um, color to work on here. But do that, duplicate it, do the bun. Oops, both of them are too big. Ooh, and then that one is Oh no, all of them. Okay, okay. Forgot. You can't just change. You got to take that off and then mess with the texture. So like lettuce. Oh, where's the tomato? Tomato, don't they put the tomato on the top because it's like soggy? Tomato. And then this guy's got to be thicker. I don't know how you like your burgers, but I like mine well done. I do not want anything. Okay, so it's a little crude if you did the top, extrude, and then go in, extrude, and then go in. You'd have that nice little bun shape. There you go. Chomp. I know it's not perfect, but like if you're making a build and you know, you're over here like in stage production and art, like I would always tell my students it's a 10-foot picture. Don't look at it from right here because you're going to be like, well, I'm not going to eat a hamburger that has a 90-degree angle, but nobody looks at it like that. They're going to look at it over here. That patty is going to be bigger. See what I mean? Like I can't like so anyway, um if you just get into Blender, start messing around all of these shapes, like everything here, everything here was created with I believe this guy. The maybe the dog's collar after like the thing was 12 sides. That guy might have been everything was made with this. So you can make so much with that once you kind of get in there and like start messing around with it. Trust the process, trust this, trust Shade Smooth because it's amazing and go from there. So I think that's probably let's see 1040 probably a good place to stop. So if anybody has questions, let me know. Otherwise, thank you for being here, you guys. I know it's kind of yeah. It's all I don't know if it's all over the place. I don't know if it's not. And Empress, oh my gosh. Oh, let's see what Empress. I love that you're talking about your dog. Our older dog is a biter. You just muzzle her. Yeah, I was like, no, I can't muzzle my dog. And then I was like, oh, yeah. So we got a nice muzzle and it helped a fighting dog. Yeah. Rotties, they've got their own ideas. I mean, I love it. And there was such a good explanation that like Rottweilers want a leader. They need a leader. And if you don't become that leader, they'll just take the job. And I've actually met so many humans like that and so use so many that analogy of like, yeah, we just want a leader. And if nobody is going to lead, somebody's got to step up. So, oh no, you're already trying to fight. Oh, yeah. Jeez. A slip muzzle. Yeah, I tried doing the slip muzzle. Man, that he figured out a way to get out of that. Like nothing. Nothing. I could only use the shock collar once, and then I was like, I can't. Not again. Um, so I hired like a personal trainer. Got really into like dog whisper stuff. Got to meet Caesar Milan, but I don't think that I don't know, I think different dogs have different needs. And my boy definitely needed a lot more than well, I gave him 10 years. He finally got bone cancer, which is so horrible for dogs. Okay, you guys, I think we'll end it up there. If you have any questions, let me know. Thank you for being here. I hope you can use this in the future. I use this tool so much, and so feel free. We'll put this up online this week, and then you'll be able to access it from there. So thank you, thank you. I will see you guys at Genesis Plaza in like 20 minutes. I'll be there. Oh, I see Aga. Hello, Aga. And let's see, we got so much good stuff going on. So, yeah, hope this is helpful. Let me know, and we will see you next time. And maybe we'll work on the dog, finish him up a little bit. Thanks for being here. Bye bye.